with this administration, we've seen them really kind of honestly take a page out of China's book, which is where I got the term state-sponsored capitalism from. So as we know, under Biden, we had the CHIPS Act, which was that big fund to give grants to onshore, chip production. But with Trump, it seems he's trying to take it in the way of, essentially buying equity in Intel for non-voting shares, right? So I don't think it'd be quite the same as them going out and buying $10 billion on the stock market. And it's viewed as a national, interest in America, making sure that Intel, because it's an American company, continues to be solvent and, producing chips. And it's nice that, SoftBank will be backing up our 10 billion with 2 billion in their own, own investment. And then if we look back, a few more weeks, the Department of Defense became the largest shareholder of MP Materials, which is the only rare earth producer in the U.S. And we saw, a huge spike in that. And we've seen another very interesting thing where any of the revenue from, AMD or NVIDIA, or not any of the revenue, 15% of the revenue from AMD and NVIDIA that comes directly from China will kind of the US government will collect as a tax. And so it's been an interesting thing to see, this administration kind of weave its web in, kind of private companies and financial markets, which is, part of the reason why China has been so successful at developing economically is that they just put money behind and kind of king make the companies that are going to, whether it's Alibaba, BYD, I'm sure there's a ton of companies that we don't even know of. And I find it interesting from the aspect of that. I think a lot of countries do have these kind of sovereign wealth funds that do really well and is good for the country. You look at Singapore, the UAE, but then it also is mildly concerning when you think of, countries like China. And then when, those CEOs like Jack Ma don't do what they like, they go to painting camps and learn to paint very well for a very long time.
Yep.
So I'll let Josh go.
It's just to add to that before Josh, it's like Biden was the setup, and the Congress really was the Congress. It wasn't Biden; he was just sitting to the side. But Congress was the setup with all the money that was brought in, and now Trump is like I said, this feels like good cop, bad cop. One set everything up with all the money, and now the execution's being done by the Trump administration. And if you look at all the people that were brought in, they all were business or stock related. I mean, you look at all the people that have been appointed, they are all very friendly with this business and stock market. And like you said, I think that reflects China.